Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I think it's time we got into the Chaos Arcana, don't you think? But first, okay, so we're doing jazz soundtrack today. So we are going to be dealing with some very interesting recording and uploading times just because of, odd work schedule and everything that goes along with that, so hopefully you guys are okay with that. I don't really have a lot of choice until I hit a day off, so just want to make sure we're all on the same page. That having been said, I am happy to even have the time to do this, so let's have some fun, shall we? So, what separates the Chaos Arcana from the others? Mostly A, they're obviously their effects, B, their effectiveness, as Chaos Arcana will do even damage to all enemies except for Master Sura himself. So, in that respect, the Chaos Arcana are actually a little bit weaker than every other Arcana, just because there's nothing that they're super effective against. But there are, even if it's just one thing in the game that reduces its damage, it's still more than can be said for the others, because at least the other spells, even though you'll more regularly run into things that resist the damage, like, say you're using Water Arcana, the damage will be reduced when you're using it against electric and other water enemies, but then there are fire enemies that they will be effective against. Chaos Arcana are not super effective against anything, and actually do a little bit less damage against Sura, as I had mentioned. So, if just from pure logistics, I think that they're a little bit weaker, but you can also look at it as, okay, but it's only one enemy in the game that resists it, and nothing else does, so doesn't that make them a little bit stronger? And in that respect, yeah, you have a point, so I don't know, maybe it's just me just being salty that that it's not super effective against anything, but honestly, no matter what I say, Chaos Arcana are definitely strong just because they have such a wide swath of usefulness. The other thing about Chaos Arcana is that you don't start the game with them. You have to earn Chaos Arcana by completing a run by beating Master Sura. So you don't start with any of these. You have to go out and earn them all, and that holds true for every Chaos Arcana, like all the standard ones, the 3 dashes, the 3 basics, and of course all the ones that count as signature. And are there still 12? Let's quick count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, so that means that there are 72 signature Arcana in all. And not gonna lie, most of these I really like. Most of them I can get good use out of. The two that I think are probably the worst are probably Null Flash Agent and Arcane Intervention. Arcane Intervention because it's awkward to use, and Null Flash Agent because you need a decent swath of standard and basic Arcana to get to your signature, because this spell does not build signature charge. Not by itself anyway, because it's a summon. So you have to have other things that are going to help you build signature charge. But you can see how effective they are. They're some aggressive boys. But we're not doing that one today. Today we are doing Arcane Intervention. Now what's the deal with Arcane Intervention? Well, you throw out a beacon. And then whenever enemies get close to you, the whole idea is you have that spell circle around you, so what happens is you teleport enemies to that beacon and they just take a bunch of damage. It's a very awkward spell to use appropriately. But the really interesting about that is that enemies that are at the beacon when you set it off still take damage, so you essentially have some amount of control over 2 points of the battlefield. It's just very difficult to use. Mostly because it flies in the face of just about every other arcana in the game. Everything else is either a melee strike or you're throwing something, typically with some sort of like, well, sometimes with some sort of other effect, like, you know, bolt claymores, you know, remote detonation, or, you know, or things like that. But this spell, no, it's like, I've got to be different for the sake of being different. As far as how it works against bosses, that's an interesting question. The answer is not very effectively, so this is going to be an interesting run where most of our effectiveness is going to be in regular battle rooms, because some of the bigger enemies aren't going to get warped around by my Arcane Intervention. So, I think the best thing we can do with this is pair it with something that's either does good damage at range, or does... We just need a hard hitter, so... You know, something that'll help us out in multiple areas would be preferred. Like, Gust Volley is one that comes to mind. The Drill definitely works. Shattering Strike. Like, I might just end up going Twin Turbines just because I feel like I'm going to need both the power and the crowd control. I could also go with Thundering Chain. That certainly wouldn't be bad. Sword, obviously, is good, so is Tidal Blast. I don't want to use a Charge Arcana just because I feel like that's going to... It's like, I'm not going to have enough crowd control to really make that work. Alright, I think I've decided. I think I'm going to go with Thundering Chain. That sounds like the right idea. Frost Feint just to keep enemies off my butt. And obviously Spinny Boy. And we're going to do this as a balanced run. And part of that is just because I do feel like I'm going to get quite a bit of use out of that extra movement speed for good positioning. And do we focus on critical hit or straight damage? I think better to focus on straight damage. So we will wear the tiara. And there we go, we got ourselves a build. Now we just gotta farm up the retro floor plan. So, I do want to say off the bat, thank you guys for being patient with me with everything that's been going on lately. It's been hard to keep down a steady schedule of recording. I do actually have the main recording done for part 3 of the Signature Arcana tier list. I just need to edit everything together, and so be patient. Again, I apologize for making you guys wait on everything I'm doing. I know it's annoying when I keep saying, I'm gonna get it done, and then, you know, work and, you know, family stuff tends to get in the way, so apologies for that. Of course we have level 3 Atlas. Oh, you've got a really awkward spell that you don't even really know how to use super effectively? Why don't we just give you the hardest stage in the game? Alright, you do your thing. Alright, cool. Can't believe I managed to do that. I would rather not have a charge basic. I just get the feeling that's going to end up creating problems. So once I get the hang of how Arcane Intervention works, I think I'll be able to safely say in rooms it does a great job of keeping things a little bit more compacted, a little bit easier to deal with because you've got essentially crowd control in 2 spots. And the signature against regular enemies does fine damage, but it's against these enemies that are immune to being transported around that I think we're going to have our biggest problem. We have to hit them with the beacon. Taffy. Okay, so yeah, we can just upgrade this right away. Yeah, I couldn't remember who the red portal person was. But I mean, that's only a problem if you call animated piñatas people. Alright, do we got anything good here? Yes, we've got this. And I'm gonna grab the hat just in case we can get the magician's outfit, because that would be amazing. I am going to wear gaudy-ass tiara, though, until then. So, you're probably going to be having to ask yourselves, is this even the sort of thing that Dark Sage likes? Because normally he's not a big fan of things that are only really effective in one spot or another. And in that instance, you would be correct. I am not the biggest fan of spells that are really only effective in rooms or only effective against bosses. I like things that allow for quite a bit of flexibility. Arcane Intervention does not have that flexibility. So I don't know how I'm going to handle this. Because the signature is kind of useless against bosses. You're not hitting them with the full brunt of the attack, so it just kind of feels like some... It feels like this is a spell that is really designed to help keep pressure off of you in regular battles, and that's really about it. But as you just saw there are ways to kind of bunch up the 5 beacons that you throw out with the signature cast. So there are ways to make it work in other areas, but again, it's kind of situational. But now let's talk about some of the good sides. The good parts are, of course, how it works in regular battle rooms. The idea that it's got a relatively short cooldown. Like, no matter what I say about it, the idea that you can throw it out there relatively quickly is always a good thing. You will always get some amount of benefit over something that you can rely on to be there when you need it. It's also a fairly decent combo piece, as you can throw out the beacon and then just have it ready to detonate. And even against enemies that's... Okay, nice freebie. Even against enemies that are resistant to your forced teleportation, that burst that you emit around yourself still does pretty decent damage. I see you there, Arcsphere. I'm just not sure if I want you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna not take that. It's going to be very resisted by the next 2 enemies, and I just don't want to deal with that drama. You don't complain about having one of the best defensive relics in the game, though. You just don't. No, what you do is you pick it up, you say thank you for this grand opportunity, and you make that shit work. Don't know if I need that much extra money. I might just come back. I might come back for that after the boss, but it's not one of those things that's like high up on my priority list. Okay, so we might be able to get something good from you, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to grab Surge Anchor for its only useful benefit, which is donating it to someone else. And we're going to see if we can't get something good here. Like, this isn't great, but it'll be effective against Atlas, and that's really all I care about. Should I take Sonic Breakers? I get the feeling that... You know what? No. Again, you take it, and you say thank you for this opportunity, and you make that shit work. I am not going to complain about having essentially resistance to death. Like, this whole run so far is just be thankful for what you get, you may not have it long. Foolish mortal, be grateful we're giving you an opportunity. Ow. There we go. No, thank you. No, considering who we're going up against, we don't want a lot of Electric Arcana. Oh, and in case you're wondering how to tell which of the 5 beacons is going to be the last one that bursts in your Arcane Intervention signature cast, it's always going to be the one that was in the direction that you were facing at the time when you threw it. So say you're facing straight up, that should be the last one to detonate. But we can try that out in this room here, because that should be the last one. Yep. There you go. We got anything good here? Yes, we do. Yeah, Dark Sage, this Arcana looks really difficult to use. As I said earlier, it is the one that's probably the most... It is the Chaos Arcana that is the most difficult to use, but it still has decent payoffs, even if it isn't great in boss fights. it still gets work done. That was not the right spell. I wanted to use that. So if I haven't explained this already, when you use Arcane Intervention, what you're doing is you're throwing out the beacon, and then you press the button again, or wait for a certain amount of time. That's right, birds. That's right. And it just it'll either detonate on its own after a few seconds, or you press the button again, whatever button the Arcana is assigned to, and you just set it off right then and there. There's a reason why I dodged the portal this time. It wasn't just I'm being dumb. Burpees. Alright, we got anything good here? Yes, we've got the raccoon mask. You may only have one cursed relic, but that one cursed relic is going to give us plus 3% critical hit chance, and that is the important part there. Oh, I could have had the dependable cake. Oh well. And there you see why it's not that great against bosses. And I think I am going to grab this. Hold on, what does the Mobius Quill do again? Resets all my other cooldowns. Why, yes, Riku is very upset right now. She does not like being covered while she can hear things going on around her. And in case you're wondering, well, why are your birds covered? You do that at night so that your birds understand that it's time for bed. See Nox down there. Oh, okay, this is a quick way to get to him. Oh, we definitely take this. Having a good amount of range is definitely helpful. Oh, just missed. So yeah, you've probably already figured this out by now, but the force teleportation ring around you when you activate it does do damage to the enemies that are hit by it. Which gives you a very good reason to want to go in and try to actually use it on your enemies. take this just in case we can get the Hunter Stiletto. Alright, Juno, Summon. Yeah, we did it! Always feels interesting to use an arcana that I rarely ever pick up, just because I feel like I'm learning things. Oh, that was bad. And of course, because it doesn't count as a projectile, you can use it perfectly fine against these pesky Earth Knights. Oh, they really want me to take that. Another way to look at this spell is that it's kind of like setting a trap. You like throw out the beacon, and then you essentially look at your enemies and go, "Hey, bet you can't." Hello, Doctor. But then because it actually has a pretty fast cooldown, you can use it again. And as far as whatever the hell was happening there, I couldn't even begin to tell you. By the way, do I have something that's speeding up my cooldowns? Oh yeah, that. But yeah, it actually has, once you detonate it, it has a cooldown of 4.2 seconds. So you're getting it back pretty quickly when you're using it. Okay, so I actually don't think I need this, so we're gonna grab that. And we already have one of the best defensive relics in the game. Do I really need another one? So I may bitch and complain quite a bit about some of these arcana, and I've said more than a few negative things about Arcane Intervention, but in comparison to some of the other bad signatures I've used, I really think this is still one of the better ones. Like, I don't necessarily think it's bad, I just think it's hard to use. And that, in and of itself, may throw a lot of people off. I don't think I lose. forgot to put this back. Whoops. I was trying to use it earlier, and I was like, nothing happened. Oh my god, I forgot to set my spell! Okay. Now, for a spell that I only use like every once in a while just to show how weird it is, I don't feel like I'm doing that bad. Like, this just kind of ended up being one of those things that... that despite what I've said about it, I'm doing alright with it. I don't mean to say that as if to be like, oh, I'm so much smarter than all of you, you can't use this 200 IQ, like, 6-dimensional spell. No. I'm just surprised that I'm using it to any effectiveness whatsoever. And I do wonder if part of that is the cushion flip-flops, because that relic is so good on defense. And what the hell? Just throw it out. You got anything good right now? Not really. But you know what? It was a good thing to look. Now we just need to find the boss room. Oh, that didn't take long. Huzzah! To victory! Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take out the mobs before I take out the boss, and that's kind of creating issues. Alright, it almost worked. Alright, let's not take chances. Let's just heal up. Here's the thing, I didn't take a ton of damage, but again, I would rather not take chances. Oh, that didn't work out. So here you can see that, especially against the higher level bosses that like to move around a lot, it's very possible that your Arcane Intervention combo just won't do anything. Ow. Don't you think you've humiliated me enough? I should have gone after that one first. Oh well. I mean, that wasn't great. I didn't necessarily want to trade there, but you know what? It works. I'll take it. Honestly, I didn't really have anything else lined up for a thumbnail shot anyway, so meh. Bleh. Bleh. Okay, this is not smart. Okay, I gotta stop doing that. Yeah, no kidding. You would be right to underestimate me right now, because I'm very confused as to how to use this spell. Ow. Owie. Oh. I'm in trouble. Shoulda kept Kali's flower diadem. Okay, well. Now, hopefully you understand what I mean by it's not very good against bosses. Like, in all fairness, that was very close to... Like, I probably should have lost that run, if I'm being honest, but... pardon me. We did manage to pull it off. But yeah, I think it kind of goes without saying that this is probably the worst Chaos signature, and it's still not bad. It has good use, it's just awkward and it doesn't do much against bosses. Make of that what you will, I suppose, but there you go. That's one Chaos Arcana in the bag. So thank you guys very much for watching. I, of course, appreciate your continued support and you coming to spend some of your free time here with me today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. My name is Darkseid Walker, and you take care, everybody.